Mr. Thompson, you have known the defendant through his sister for quite some time. His sister became a tenant of yours over 20 years ago. And his sister was supposed to temporarily move out. However, ultimately, she never moved back in. So Mr. Haywood became your sole tenant in this place that used to belong to his sister. So as soon as he was residing there alone, you claim the problems with rent essentially started. All in all, you claim that there are 4 months of outstanding rent, a partial month of outstanding rent on top of those 4 full months, attorney's fees, cleaning fees, all of which exceed our court maximum. So you are seeking to recover $5,000 here today. Mr. Haywood, you claim that you were illegally evicted by the plaintiff and that you were forced over the years to pay for repairs. So you believe that you own nothing. So, Mr. Thompson, why don't you tell us how Mr. Haywood's sister came to be one of your tenants?
Back in those days, I had a sign out front.
She called, I assume?
She called.
From a landline? I mean, these are things we don't really understand these days, right?
Most definitely.
Okay, so she got in touch with you and she became your tenant over 20 years ago.
Yes.
You told us in your complaint that she was a fine tenant for a long time. And what was that first issue that arose?
She moved out. I think it was because her husband passed. So she told me she was going to take care of his affairs, and she left her brother in the apartment.
When did you first learn that Mr. Haywood was living in the apartment?
I went to her house one day, and she had a white carpet, and it wasn't white anymore.
Okay.
So I knew somebody else was living there. So a few days later, I was on the premises, and this gentleman come walking down the stairs, and I asked him, I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Joyce's brother. I live here." I said, "You live here? How long you been living here?" And I'm a landlord that I'm on my property very frequently. I've never seen this gentleman before. He said, "I've been here a year."
Okay.
I said, "Well, let me get this straight. You've been stealing sleep for a year?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're not paying rent?" So I mentioned it to his sister. I told her she owed me a year in back rent for her brother. And I think at that time the rule was 10% of the rent or $100. I said, "I'm gonna let it slide, but if he's gonna stay here, he's gonna have to pay $100 more."
Moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Haywood, when did you move in with your sister into the place owned by Mr. Thompson?
It was a little long ago, but I'm not quite sure.
We're talking more than 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay. Is this your sister?
Yes.
Come on up, ma'am. Ms. Rockman, you began living in Mr. Thompson's place over 20 years ago? Mm-hmm. And at some point, your brother joined you living there. Is that correct? How did that come to be?
So I moved in the mid-90s. I lived there for a while. I got married and moved out. My husband and I separated, and the apartment was available at the time, so I moved back in.
Okay.
So my brother needed a place to stay, and he stayed with me.
And this is all over 10 years ago that this is all taking place? Okay.
Yes. And my husband, who I had separated from, became ill. And my intentions was to just go and see what I could do to help him.
He knew you weren't coming back?
Yes. I told him that I was going to stay there after my husband passed away. So the problem, I think, started is when he put him on the lease and my brother started to have some financial difficulties.
So those two things just unfortunately happened at the same time. Putting Mr. Haywood on the lease and the financial difficulties,
yes.
It was not a result of putting him on the lease that you had a problem.
I don't know.
You don't know,
because
fair enough.
I don't know who was paying the rent. All I know the rent was being paid. Once I put him on the lease, maybe coincidentally, I don't know.
Fair enough. I believe that you both agree you did not pay rent for the months of April and May of 2023. Is that correct?
Correct.
Mr. Thompson, you've provided us with your ledger.
Yes.
For all your tenants, which shows to us what you both agree, which is that rent was not paid for the months of April or May. I believe you both also agree that Mr. Haywood did pay rent in June and July of 23. Is that correct?
Right.
And that's correct?
Correct.
Okay.